You are listening to the Win the Talent War podcast. Hear from today's business leaders as they share their ideas on how to attract, retain, and develop top talent. From the front lines of the war for talent, here is your host, Ryan Kellogg.
Welcome to the next episode of the Win the Talent War podcast, your weekly podcast for all that is HR. This is your host, Ryan Kellogg, and today we are joined by Alina Basina, Global Head of Talent and Human Resources at Jobbatical. At Jobbatical, Alina and her team work to create a platform that helps talent that wants to work in a new environment, country, or culture find a job of their dreams. We talk so much about creating a diversified workforce on this show that I thought it would be a great opportunity to hear about a dynamic and innovative concept through Jobbatical. And I asked Alina to be on to share with us the concept as well as her own experiences working internationally. Alina, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on board today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Alina, why don't we start off by sharing with the listeners a little bit about your journey and what brought you all the way to Jobbatical?
Sounds great. Yeah. And I will happily also send you a link to a blog post that I just wrote as well about my Jobbatical story. So to tell you a bit about that, I have been working in San Francisco and in the Bay Area for the last 10 plus years in the tech industry. I started off actually as an attorney, but I became an attorney during the recession. And so just by luck, I fell into technical recruiting and human resources and have really enjoyed doing that. And I really wanted to work abroad. I got a chance to go and take a sabbatical for a year. And what I was really yearning for is to be able to work. And somehow I always came across some kind of a barrier, be it with immigration, where if you try to work abroad, I wasn't able to do that as a US citizen, or maybe something personal came up. And so in 2015, when I was coming back from my sabbatical, I committed myself to really looking for a job abroad, which is what I've really wanted to experience. So our CEO and founder, Carly Hendricks, created this concept of Jobbatical, which is job and a sabbatical in one. And what that means is whether you're maybe on a career break or you're looking for a brand new job, or maybe you want to shift gears too, it's an opportunity to go and work abroad somewhere for maybe a year, maybe longer, whatever the employer and the employee agrees on. And so I reached out to Jobbatical through the support portal and just told them what an awesome concept. And it was a company that was willing to sponsor my residency in the European Union. And within a day, I heard back from Carly, and she interviewed me along with two other people. And next thing I knew, I was on the flight to Estonia for a year.
That is quite a journey and really exciting.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
So now, as the head of global talent acquisition at Jobbatical, you're actually the first international company that I've had on the Win the Talent War podcast. So I can imagine you have a very strong opinion in regards to why companies might want to take an international approach towards looking for top talent.
Yeah, a few reasons. And we work with tiny companies to huge banks and big corporations. And the reason for that is, as you know, diversity has come up as a huge issue with a lot of companies in US. And there's always a shortage of talent, especially when you're working in places like San Francisco and in other smaller markets, maybe somewhere in Asia or in Europe. And basically what Jobbatical does is gives company that opportunity, be it a tiny company that just really needs to scale and is struggling to find talent in their market, or a huge company that really just needs to diversify their talent because that is something that they're struggling with internally. So we cater to all of those.
Are there benefits from diversifying your talent internationally?
I believe so. I do. And we've definitely seen some benefits from it. I mean, I presume when companies like Google and Facebook are saying that there's not enough diversity, there's usually a reason behind it. And for us personally, at Jobbatical, we definitely practice what we preach. And so on our team of 24 people, we actually have people from 10 plus different countries. And I will say it has been such an inspirational experience to sit at the table with somebody from, for example, Egypt or India or Brazil or Ukraine. Just so much diversity and talent. And it's such a challenge to sit in the room with people with all these different ideas and opinions that to me and to us, I do believe that is a huge benefit for companies out there.
How would a company go about attracting talent from other countries?
Yeah, so to give you an example of what we do is we work with a company to really create a very attractive job opening, something that people actually want to read and engage into. Our copywriters do that. And then we brand the company. We write a story about them. We really put them out there with beautiful images. And once it's posted, our platform specifically has right now 80,000 plus users who are willing and ready to relocate. So as long as the company says, we're open to this international talent concept and we will try to work with either with Jobbatical on the immigration processes or we ourselves do the immigration processes, then that's all it takes. It's literally something that can be done within 24 hours.
Wow. Now, does it have to be a sabbatical or do often those that come over from different countries stay with that company?
Yeah. So I think what we try to put out there is a very honest communication between the employer and employee. So to give myself as an example, when I was taking this job, I said that I actually want to work for Jobbatical for as long as we both shall live or until we both outgrow each other. And so I had a very honest conversation. And so I decided that I'm going to go live in Estonia for 1 year. And then I was going to come back to San Francisco. And if all worked out, I will continue to work for Jobbatical. So it's now been over a year. I'm back in San Francisco as of 2 days ago, and I am working for Jobbatical still. So I do believe it's about having that honest conversation. It is definitely not just a sabbatical. It can be a long-term employment. It can be a shorter-term employment. It is completely up to the person.
Yeah, I'm curious. You'd mentioned there's a network of 80,000 people using Jobbatical. Where do you find most of the international talent coming from?
A lot of our talent comes from US at this time that is willing and ready to relocate.
Really?
We also,
that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if it has anything to do with political climate or if people are just really more excited to travel and work. It's becoming more popular maybe. So we're definitely getting a lot of people from US. We also have a lot of people coming in from other places in Europe, like for example, Germany, UK. We have a lot of people coming out of Asia and also a lot of talent coming out of India as well.
Now I could see it as an individual looking for an opportunity, Jobbatical being a great platform in order to make a move, take action, and you have a pivotal point in your life.
Absolutely. And, I think what we preach and what our mission is for companies and people to really think globally and think beyond the borders and give people an opportunity despite their passport, despite their age, despite their gender, race, etc. So it's really about this borderless world that we're trying to create.
Now, when it comes to top talent, being that this is the Win the Talent War podcast, would you say in other countries, given Jobbatical's international approach, do other countries outside of the U.S. weigh their talent differently than, say, an organization here within the U.S.?
It's definitely company dependent, but overall, I think everybody has very high expectations. People do want talent that is really great at what they do. I think there are some places that may not put as much focus on maybe the top university. As long as you're a great developer who can code your way through anything, fantastic. So I do think there's some common ground there, but overall, I would say every country is looking for their own type of talent.
And for our listeners, what a great way to expand your peripheral view and stop looking in silos, but take a look at and see what's out there, particularly from an international standpoint. It can really bring different ideas, different culture to the table that could be really beneficial and help grow your company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, what types of jobs do you find Jobbatical leveraging? Are there specific jobs that you see more frequent than others coming across Jobbatical?
Yeah, so our focus at this time is definitely software development. That's huge anywhere. That is some of the toughest roles to fill, like full stack developers and such. We also do product and product design, such as UX, UI, product management. We also concentrate on marketing, business development, and sales, and some HR HR related G&A type roles as well. So that tends to be our focus, but we do work with all types of companies. For example, anything from a really cool tech startup, whether it's in Europe or in Asia, to really huge corporations like banks, like telecommunication companies, etc.
Now I can tell you're definitely in California with the birds chirping in the background. I don't get that too often here in New York.
Sorry about that. Do you want me to shut the window?
No, it's very, very soothing. I appreciate it, actually.
Awesome.
So as the head of talent acquisition for Jobbatical, what do you look for in a good hire or a competitive candidate?
Because our mission is to hire beyond borders, I do whatever it takes to never form any kind of unconscious bias. So to me, it's really looking at skills. If my job description requires X, then that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking beyond anything else and just focusing on the experience. So I don't care where somebody is from. I will find a way to bring them to the company. It doesn't matter what their educational background is, unless that is specifically what the job requires. So to me, it really is about opening up my own biases that I have developed over the years and focusing on the person based on just the skills, and then interviewing from there on, based on cultural fit, etc.
Do you do anything from a vetting standpoint to ensure that you're providing the top quality candidate?
Yeah, absolutely. So for our customers, we do a few things. So on the back end, we have created a tool with our data science team, which basically matches talent to the job description as perfectly as possible. So it does that. And then on the back end, we also pre-moderate all the candidates that are coming through. That way, our customers are seeing some of the best talent possible, and they're not getting any spam. With many job boards type platforms out there, I think, and ATS systems, I think what a lot of recruiters see is a lot of spam coming through. So we are definitely protecting our clients against that.
Now you said pre-moderators. What does that look like?
So we have built a tool on the back end, and myself and my team, what we work on is we review applications. And if we think somebody is a fit for that specific role, we will let them through to apply to the company. Now, if we don't think they're a fit, we will mark them as so. However, the client will still have the ability to see those candidates if they choose to. So we are not denying anybody the right to apply. We're just, in a way, filtering them out. And then if the company wants to still see those candidates, they still can.
Now, do you do anything to level set the cultural differences?
Yeah. So on the talent side, we actually have a community, a Slack community for all of our Jobbaticalers. Jobbaticalers are the people who are out there on the Jobbatical.
I like Jobbaticalers. That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
So we have a Slack community, and we basically have people in every country that we currently work with who are there to help talent out. Of course, we're also working with the company closely to make sure that our talent is in fact happy and settled and are taken care of. But the Slack community that we have, also people help each other out, whether it's finding an apartment or giving advice on maybe medical care or the best place to go eat or work from. So we definitely make sure that our talent is in a good place.
So, Alina, let's transition a little bit more towards yourself. When I look at someone like yourself who has been very successful, the global head of talent acquisition, what would you say motivates you the most?
For me, what motivates me the most are human relations. So knowing that I have helped somebody and helped them get a job, or I was able to get settled into a new country, knowing that somebody is in a much better place, maybe because they're coming from a country that is potentially war-torn and we could help them. Those are the things that motivate me professionally.
And then looking back, if you were to find a young Alina embarking on your first career endeavor, what advice would you give yourself?
Take more risks and don't question yourself and just go for it because, for example, moving to Estonia was a huge deal for me, and doing so in my mid-30s was an even bigger deal. But I think stop questioning yourself and just go for it. Go with your gut is something that everybody should stick to. And that's the advice I'd give myself.
I think that's great advice and very motivating. Take risks, get out there, see different things, see the world.
Thanks.
So, Alina, moving forward, is there anything at Jobbatical that you want to share with the audience that might be new and noteworthy, something we should keep an eye out for?
Yeah, I mean, we are 2 years old and we are constantly developing, and we are working with many fantastic companies, and our talent base just gets better and better on a daily basis. So I would highly recommend for somebody who is curious about maybe living somewhere else for a while, or somebody who just wants a total change in lifestyle, check it out. Go to jobbatical.com, explore, and see what's out there. There's so many great opportunities. And at the same time, if you're a company and you really want to scale or want to diversify your talent or both, we're totally here to help you.
For our listeners, international hiring can be a key contributor to the growth and success of your business. And by leveraging Jobbatical, you can get there much faster. Well, Alina, thank you so much for your involvement in the Win the Talent War. We appreciate the time that you spent with us today.
Thanks so much, Ryan.
Have a good one. Take care.
Thanks.
Listeners, we have been hearing from Alina Basina, Global Head of Talent and Human Resources at Jobbatical. Thank you again, Alina, for your insight and your story. Listeners, check out Jobbatical at jobbatical.com. Explore their open jobs. Take a look at their talent. I know at first glance, I started staring at an opportunity for a sales role in Johannesburg, South Africa, which looked pretty appealing, I won't lie. But what a great concept and a great way to diversify your own workforce by diving into Jobbatical and potentially bringing over an international employee that may have a different perspective on how you operate or some new experiences to share with your workforce. I'm a big fan of diversification and learning from the experiences of others. Speaking of experiences, if you are so inclined, please give us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes, or check out our website at wotpod.com. That's WOTPOD.com. We'll have Alina's show notes as well as all the show notes from all of our previous episodes right there on the main page. Thanks again for listening to this episode of the Win the Talent War podcast. I look forward to our next encounter. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Win the Talent War podcast with Ryan Kellogg. For more insight on how to win the talent war, visit www.wotpod.com.